The superhero genre in film has really grown in the last 10 years. It's amazing how Marvel went from Iron Man to Iron Man 6. The superhero genre has become oversaturated, with Marvel following a constant formula and other major studios playing catch-up to create their own cinematic universe. The impact of the superhero craze is where I think 2016's anime Boku no Hero Academia, or translated into English, My Hero Academia, gets its inspiration. Does this anime take on the superhero genre in a unique and interesting way, or is it just another oversaturated formulaic piece of entertainment? Let's find out. The pitch for the show is actually something I surprisingly haven't seen before. My Hero Academia is set in a world where 80% of the population have some sort of superpower. According to the show, each superpower, or as the show likes to say,
Quirks and quirks,
is unique to each individual person. And with 80% of the population having a unique quirk, it makes you think how unique some of these quirks are. And yeah, they're pretty unique.
I've got these sticky balls. Their strength varies. Depending on how I'm feeling, they might stick to something a whole day. They grow back as fast as I can pull them off, but I'll bleed if I use too many. Oh, and they don't stick to me. I just bounce right off them.
Man, how did the manga author come up with some of this shit? Most of this anime takes place at Sky High, UA High, my bad. An elite school where kids with only the best of quirks can get in and hope to graduate to become a pro. This is where our main character, Izuku Midoriya, who I'll just shorten to Deku, comes in. In a world where the majority of the population has some type of quirk, Deku is unfortunately one of the unlucky sons of the bitches to not have one. Hey, but guess what? It's a shonen anime, so do you really think this series will go on without the protagonist getting some type of freakishly powerful power? Earlier I asked if this superhero-inspired anime might be another formulaic piece of entertainment. Okay, so here's a discussion. Yes, it follows a formula, but it's following the shonen formula, and it follows it very, very well. My Hero Academia wears the tropes of the shonen genre on its sleeve like a fucking proud Nazi. Characters have powers that reflect their personality, there are flashbacks in the middle of fucking fight scenes. Deku wants to become king of the Hokages, or I'm sorry, I mean a great hero. I couldn't tell the difference. If there is any major criticism I have with My Hero Academia's plot, it's how the show presents its story through exposition and its pacing. Here's two examples of this. In the middle of season 1, there's a hero versus villains trial test. We as an audience aren't told what the plan is that the characters have thought of, or how the characters are supposed to take the other opposing team out. Until the situation has already happened or is already happening, and only then does the show decide to tell us what's happening.
he's using the capture tape. We both tried to take him down, we'd probably run out of time.
It's been done before and it has been done right elsewhere, but in the case of My Hero Academia, it's just confusing and I would even say irritating. It just feels like the writer thought of a cool scenario, but halfway through with writing the scenario, forgot how to explain how we got there. Basically, what I'm saying is, why didn't Yuruka use her zero-gravity quirk? I know you both said you couldn't take Bakugo on, but he literally wasn't even paying attention to Yuruka. Sorry, it just really bothered me when I was watching. Just it doesn't even fucking matter. And I just thought it was a bullshit excuse to further the plot. And here's the second example.
By the way, I forgot to mention that this is the story of how I became the world's greatest hero.
What? What the fuck?
Why would you do that? This isn't It's All About the Journey and not the destination situation. That's literally just telling us how the show is going to conclude. Just have the fucking credits roll at that point. Okay, to be fair, I guess it's possible that we're being lied to, but since it's following the shonen trope to a T, I can't imagine we actually are. I'm just waiting for a moment for a character to get a fuckload of screen time and backstory so I can just say, oh, you're going to probably die next episode. The last thing I want to mention about the plot before I move on to these characters is My Hero Academia backtracks the last episode at the beginning of the next. And I don't mean if this is, I don't know if this is necessarily a shonen trope, but I do know other anime that do this, and I don't like it when those animes do it either. I know it's to help new viewers get into the show since anime usually airs weekly, but still, if I'm going out and buying these Blu-rays, binge watching this shit, the recap is annoying, and I know it's just a little filler so the show creators can just be a little lazy. Deku is a great underdog protagonist, and the plot just hands him the opportunity to let him shine. He's also thankfully not a dumb main character, which, thank God! All Might, who is what Deku looks up to as the greatest hero, plays a good mentor role to him. Yuruka is a cheerful, fun to watch, and in my opinion, best girl. But she's going to have some competition in season 2, I'll tell you that. Then there's Senya Ida, takes his academics very seriously, a little too seriously. Katsuki Bakugo is so prideful that it burns. Ah, so funny! Ah, humor! comedy! Bakugo and Deku have an interesting rivalry. Deku looks up to Bakugo, and when Bakugo enters UA, realizes he isn't the top shit he thought he was. Look at his design, his quirk, his explosions, and his little hair looks like a goddamn explosion. This, I think, is pretty good character design. And you'll see in the show how these clever character designs match with the characters pretty well. Deku is a very plain looking character, which I think helps the underdog aspect about him. All Might is heavily inspired by comic book superheroes, and more specifically probably Superman, which makes sense since All Might is this, giant symbol of peace. I think that's enough examples about the character designs. My Hero Academia has all these other characters I need to go through and in detail, so I'm going to do that right now. This guy won't matter till season 2. This girl hates iPhones. This girl has tits. This guy has sticky balls. This guy's an animal. This guy's a crow, I think. This girl is just literally a gag. This guy can have 7 penises. This guy is hard. This guy gets hard. This guy is probably gay. This guy is basically Spider-Man. I don't even know what this guy's quirk is. This girl's an alien, I think, and this girl's a frog. Now you might be saying that's not really going in depth about these characters' personalities, and hey, if season 1's not going to do it, then neither am I. It's not even really the show's fault. They just don't have enough time to really dive into these characters, at least not in just one season of like 13 episodes. And it wouldn't be as misleading or as upsetting if the opening didn't have the characters so prevalent. Speaking of the opening is good. Granted, the visual aspects are misleading. The representation of what happens in the show with actual character involvement and locations of fights, but whatever, it's not really a big deal. The soundtrack is also just good. It's not amazing, but the tracks do their job, and it makes me feel what I'm supposed to be feeling when I'm watching the show. Okay, maybe this is just me, but when I rewatched the show dubbed, it seemed like the sound design and music was mixed better in the dub.
あの時僕が言って欲しかったのは言って欲しかった言葉は
Back then, the thing I wanted you to say. The words I needed to hear.
That's not just me, right? Can you guys hear that too? That's not just me, right? I also highly recommend the dub. I'll even be watching season 2 dub first since it'll be airing side by side with the sub. The only voice that I didn't think fit that well was Lucy Christian as Yuruka.
I stopped you with my quirk. I'm sorry I didn't ask first. But I figured you wouldn't mind me catching you.
Yeah, it just felt a little raspy. I think the reason I was so turned off by the show's style at first is because I saw Deku having these huge fucking eyes, and I was just like, whoa, that's a little... that's weird. Because Deku's eyes compared to all these other characters were definitely not similar, and All Might having this comic book style look to him, and these characters having just kind of different designs. And unfortunately, while watching the show, I've noticed that the background art environments are pretty fucking boring. I mean, look at UA. It's supposed to be this elite school for these superhero kids and stuff. You would think it looked really cool, but it doesn't. It's just these buildings, and it's boring. Other than those gripes, the animation is pretty fluent. Bones does a really good job this time, like they always do. And when it gets heated and the fight's happening, it's really well animated, and some of the best animated punches I've seen since One Punch Man. I just got done finishing the 6th volume of the manga, and I gotta say, I'm surprised on how much the anime covers, and that not being a lot. The anime covers about 2.5 volumes of the manga, and Tokyo Ghoul probably shouldn't have taken 60 volumes into one season. Sorry, I'm still a little upset about that. This also could explain why the pacing is a little slow. Granted, those recaps don't help either. Nothing major was left out in the manga. In fact, it pretty much follows it to a T. I can understand why people were saying this might be the next big shonen. At the end of season 1, it's obvious the show's story is far from over, and the anime has plenty of manga to adapt at the moment. I'm very excited for season 2, and since in the manga I just read past where season 2 will probably conclude, I can definitely say the tournament arc was the most fun to read. But also, then again, I'm a sucker for tournament arcs. Ranking everything together, it goes from the categories I've just listed and personal. No, I'm not gonna do scores anymore. They're pretty much useless. Well, I mean, they're not useless. I love numbered scores as much as the next person, but let's be honest. It's either should you check this out or should you skip it? And I'm just gonna say, yeah, My Hero Academia, you should definitely check it out, especially if you like the shonen genre and you like superheroes. You think you definitely can find some enjoyment here. If you like the review, and if you want me to review season 2, then just let me know in the comments. If you have any other anime suggestions I should watch so I can review, so you can hear my shit opinion, then again, just let me know in the comments. I'll see you down there, and I'm Zap from Zap Arts. See you guys in the next one.